What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are covering Rakdos Reanimator. Why this deck? Because it just took down the Mox Showcase qualifier, which qualifies one individual to the Mox Championship, an 8-person tournament for that. Each of them already qualified for the Pro Tour by just making it to the tournament, and then they play for a Worlds qualification for the finalists, and also for a lot of money, prestige, of course. The Magic Online Championship is the epitome, the pinnacle of Magic Online play. And none other than my teammate and friend Jesse Hampton from Team Handshake Marksfield took it down, brewing up this Rakdos Reanimator deck on the morning of the event. Absolutely crazy story. He wanted to beat up on the Izzet Otters deck, the Izzet, not Otters, the Izzet Cutter deck, I guess, Izzet Prowess, which has taken Magic Online by storm. I've covered it in the last video. It seems to be the sort of the breakout new deck from the tournament, from Tarkir. And yeah, he went another level and figured out an archetype that has received Tearza Light Shatter with Tarkir Dragonstorm here in Rakdos Reanimator to beat up on these decks and find it on the last minute, which is pretty impressive. Really cool accomplishment. And yeah, again, I want to iterate. The Mox Showcase qualifier, it's already extremely difficult to qualify for the Showcase qualifier itself. And then only one person in a really, really tough field will qualify for the 8-player Mox. Yeah, so very impressive. I guess as a comparison, if you compare it to Arena, I would say that the Mox Showcase qualifier, it's harder, but in the same realm. It's even harder, I would say, than to qualify for day 2 of the Arena qualifier. So yeah, you can imagine, and it's like a 32-player event, and it's really tough competition, of course, because it's really difficult to qualify for that one. And now he's going to the Mox, so congrats to Jesse. Well done. Rakdos Reanimator. Let's start with Tearza Light Shatter. Let's take a look at her. 3 mana, 3/3 haste. When it enters the battlefield, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. So it has a little bit of a Fable vibe, has the same mana cost. It's a creature attached to sort of this faithless looting type effect. Then there's an additional bonus. When a Tearza attacks, if there's 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard, you may play that card this turn. It doesn't say you may play that card without paying its mana cost. That would be kind of neat with the big reanimation targets we have. You do have to pay the cost for it, but hey, it's an extra little bonus that in a grindy game or in a long game situation, the graveyard's filled up, you can top deck a Tearza, and then boom, you can play her attack, and hopefully you hit a non-land that you can cast that's useful, does something a little bit. Yeah. And then the rest of the deck, what's sort of important here? We have Bitter Triumph and Fear of Missing Out, Tearza, and Liliana of the Veil, all as our discard outlets. Makes sense. Fear of Missing Out, one of the premier ones, sees a lot of play in Pioneer and Rakdos Demons. We see it in Jeskai Oculus. Then we have 2 copies of Duress, a little bit of a non-creature interaction, 4 copies of Torture Tower, 2 copies of Abrade to solidify the removal interaction, 8 removals in the early game. Really gives a little bit of a mid-range vibe as well. We have Overlord also as a 2-drop, so it's a rather low curve. What's going on here? All right, small technical difficulties. Yeah, back to the Overlord. 2 mana play, cheap, finds us Liliana, Tearza, Fear of Missing Out, and of course mills one of our fatties that we can reanimate later. And also finds the Valgor's Fateful, which is kind of important. Technically, Overlord in itself could enable you to get a reanimation target in the graveyard and then find your reanimation spell itself in the Valgor's Faithful, which is kind of neat. Also means that later down the line in the endgame situation, you have a really potent target to get back with the Overlord if it ever gets to attack, or if you impend it for 2 again or whatnot in the Faithful, that can then return one of your fatties for cheap as well. Yeah, and I like that early game core, of course, because it means you can play a somewhat fair game. You can even beat down a little bit here with the Fear and the Tearza, go a little bit for aggression. I really like that as a setup for then the reanimation package. With his 4 Zombify, doesn't get more efficient than that, pretty easy to cast. And then we have a split of big creatures to get back here. Valgavoth and Atraxa are obviously extremely good against red decks. I guess the Izzet Prowess deck could bounce Atraxa with Into the Flood more, but you would still have drawn a lot of cards from that. And considering you have a lot of cheap removal, you're probably going to be fine against the at least early aggression of Izzet Prowess. And Valgavoth, you know, bouncing that thing is rather costly. You have to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. So that's, you know, doable perhaps, but that is a price they have to pay. That's really, really rough, of course. And then Italius, I guess, just another value card to get back. Also hard castable, theoretically, if you get to 7 mana. Yeah, pretty neat. From knowing the story that this deck was built very short notice. I am impressed with the numbers and everything else. Two Braids is a card I think that we're going to see more of in the future, because, you know, Curry Steelcutter, arguably the best card out of Target Dragonstorm, is of course an artifact, and yeah, having some answers to that is important. We're looking at 25 lands in total, 2 copies of Demolition Field, just some land hate, why not? And then a Rausch's Theater as Surveil, very good in Reanimation Shell, of course. Let's take a quick look at the sideboard. 2 more cut down for cheap removal, 2 the rest for more hand hate. 1 copy of Brotherhood's End, 2 copies of Pyroclasm for some sweeper effects against go wide strategies. Chandra, I really like that one. Alternative Threat, that also does work with the Reanimation strategy by discarding a card from your hand. And then we have 2 copies of Ghost Vacuum, of course, some Graveyard Hate of our own. Then last but not least, we have Preacher of the Schism 3 times and a Sheoldred, rounding out our anti-red hate, turning us a little bit more into a mid-range deck potentially. If we expect a ton of Graveyard Hate, we could just bring in Preachers and Chandras and shave down on the Graveyard stuff. That works. Yeah, again, this deck took down one of the toughest tournaments on Magic Online, and it did so in style. It beat 4 times. That's the information I got. 4 times. 4-0. Izzet Prowess. Yeah. Izzet Prowess was all over that tournament. Everybody was playing it. And really a great meta call. If you want to beat up on Izzet Prowess, this might be the deck for you. All right. Let's prove that thesis right now. Let's have some gameplay. Okie dokie. Oh, a bit of a shaky one. Lots of lands. If I draw a Terza, I'd be fine. The funny thing is I kind of want to discard the Valgavoth into the fear, so I won't be getting rid of a land with the fear of missing out. I think I'm going to take a mulligan. I think this hand is a little too weak. Okay. Interesting. So I kind of want to keep all my combo pieces, right? Discard, Reanimation Target, and Faithful. So I'm on the draw here. I think I'm just going to ditch the Duress. It's tough. This would be a nice hand to keep as a 7. Like, for example, if I'm playing against Izzet Prowess, I kind of want the Duress to take the Steel Cutter. On the other hand, theoretically, you don't need to answer the Steel Cutter, especially not in game 1. Alright, I'm glad I kept the Torch. It's going to be better here. Theoretically, you don't need to. Why do I say that? Because something like Valgavoth is not going to care if your opponent has a couple of Monk Prowess tokens, you know? Alright, there you go. There it is. Well, I really need to draw two lands, I guess. 2 lands in this game is probably done. Do I want to play the Faithful here? I might not, actually. I think I will not. It gives my opponent a Burst Lightning target. And I do have the Zombify already, so I have a 4 mana option. And I might want to discard the Faithful into the Valgavoth, into the Terza, together with the Valgavoth, to help me find that 4th land. Because 1 Zombify should be enough. I guess my opponent might have 1 or 2 copies of Spell Pierce in the main deck that could sadly destroy my plans here. Rinse Resolve into another Rinse Resolve and a Storm Chaser's talent. Yeah, it would be difficult to win this game the fair way, potentially. Now the question becomes how, like, I'm definitely discarding this. The question is, do I want to discard Faithful as well? I might... I don't know. I mean, how am I going to lose this Valgorov? They can't really kill it in combat. I mean, I guess Monster's Rage could do it. Alright, I'm going to keep the Faithful around in case something weird happens. They can... I don't know. Yeah. Go double Monster's Rage when I block a Prowess creature to kill my Valgorov. I can just get it back. Yeah, the scary card really is the Spell Pierce. But if my opponent chooses to tap out with those triple talent in exile, they're kind of inclined to do so. Yeah, this Steel Cutter is a pretty good card, and we're gonna see a lot of it. I could take 7. One issue that could arise is that they could kill off the creature I block with Valgorov. And then, I don't know, Monster's Rage the other stuff. That's something that is a little scary. I would go down to 8 here. The Tears I can chump block next turn regardless. I think I'm gonna not block. Okay, 2 cards in hand. Yeah, I got something. I mean, I'm winning the game right now. But there is a combination of cards that could get me. Like, yeah, Burst Light. Well, I guess Burst Lightning doesn't really kill any of their creatures. They would have to have like a... I guess they could also have a bounce off, right? Like they could just sacrifice, you know, they're getting so many permanents here actually with all these monk tokens. They could just sacrifice the talent. Yeah, a simple bounce spell is actually good enough here. Which, yeah, I guess that's the power of Curry Steel Cutter just making 3 monks for free. The talent providing you 2 permanents. So Valgorov might not actually be the safest against Into the Floodmaw or Bounce Off. But my opponent still has to have it. They usually play like 2 copies maybe. They kept the card on top. Okay, that's scary. Another land. Alright, well, they're just gonna kill me. Through, I essentially have 17 life. Are they gonna be able to deal me enough? Maybe. Oh, they did find the bounce. They were targeting my Valgorov. Maybe they're just reading it. And if they find a bounce, I'm super dead. Like I'm taking like 24. I can jump 1. I still take 19. Yeah, Prowess is a pretty good ability. Noteworthy also that Storm Chase's talent, you know, makes a Prowess creature, but it also is a Prowess enabling card, right? It triggers Prowess, not just like Swift Spear. Okay, let's just block the 2 biggest things. And yeah. I don't really have any options here. Burst Light in my face. I'll take, what, 2, 5? If they have a Rage here, I might be dead. Am I dead regardless? No, I got a 1. And to cast these spells, I have to pay life for the mana cost. Okay. I guess I'm not out of the woods yet. What can I do here? I can Bitter Triumph 1 creature and Burst Lightning another. Do have to attack. I can also play a Swift Spear to block. Can I kill my opponent? I don't think so. No. No. Alright. Play Swift Spear. Do I have to pay mana costs? Oh, no, you don't. Okay. Then I can assemble a lot of blockers, actually. Play you. Play you? Do I want to do it right now? I guess I don't have to. It's the question, like, do you want to play around bounce? Well, I could also just cast all these ops and slide up sounds for 0 mana. Just 1 minor life point. Alright, fair enough. I can't resist. I can't resist the value. Okay. That gives me another nice blocker. And yeah, I'm gonna discard the Liliana, I suppose. Okay, so that gives me another blocker. Yeah, Burst Lightning and Bitter Triumph up. The question is, do I want to cast my Burst Lightning right now? I think I don't know. I mean, they have one card in hand. All right, fine. I'm just gonna wait. Oh, you can only do it during your turn. Well, that's bad. Reading helps. Reading helps. Oh shoot. They should have one less auto and I should have one less life. Oh, that's not good. Alright. Will it be enough? I'm at 8 life. Can block 3 of them. And that might actually be extremely crucial. Ah, man. Yeah, reading the card explains the cards. My bad. I haven't played with this in a while. Unintuitive that it's only doing your turn. Why would that be? A little unintuitive. Yeah, a block 3. Okay, I mean that's already enough, isn't it? Yeah, that's already enough. Damn it! If I had a burst lightning, I would actually win this game here. Man, that's impressive. So I can block here, block here, block here. That's. I mean, I guess it's not enough. If they literally have nothing, but I mean, they just cast stock up, so I assume they have what it takes. But yeah, if I had a burst lightning here, I'd probably win this game. That sucks. That's on me. Reading the card explains the card. Jesse Hampton probably didn't make that mistake. Not at that event. Not for those stakes. Knowing his own cards. Would I have been able to beat the Rage? I would have. Yeah, I would have won this game. Right? No, I actually might have lost this game regardless. Because I would be at 5. I would have 1 less life. They would have 1 less order. They would still have 5 attackers. Attack me. I would block all the free freeze. And then they would have 5. I would have still lost this game, actually. I wouldn't have changed the outcome of this game. Because they would have had 2... They would have had 5 power unblocked. I block all the free freeze. And then I have to cast Bitter Triumph on the free freeze that's not blocked. And then they can respond with Monster's Rage. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. I would have lost this game regardless. Impressive. Yikes. Alright, that's Steel Cutter card. Okay. Okay. Liliana of the Veil, not loving that one. Interesting. What do you even do here? Like, do you want to go full on reanimation? Do you want to go into mid range? You have options. All these cards all are reasonable. Sweepers, Cut Down, Preacher, Shieldred. Bit of Triumph, Braid, Fear of Missing Out, Overlord. If I'm facing Ghost Vacuum, I do have 2 copies of Braid. Brothers, and I guess I can take in. Pyroclasm seems kind of good against Prowess, because Prowess creatures on your turn are usually just very small. Don't know if I like Duress. It might be okay. This is really tricky. Do you want to go fair, or do you want to go unfair? Man, I can't believe I lost with Valgo off turn 4. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Shows you the power of that 2-mana card. I kind of want to have Pyroclasms here. Seems kind of nice against Corey Steelcutter, although Duress is nice against Spell Pierce. I'm gonna leave it as at this. I don't know. I'm afraid that if I go Preacher Shieldred, I might just lose the fairway. I don't know. They might not anticipate it, I guess, and they might not have removal for them. That's a pretty nice hand. I think I'm just gonna play my Faithful on turn 1 here and get it back for Overload later. Probably gonna play Overload on turn 2 actually. What I could also do is I could play Fear, discard my Faithful and then get it back for Overload down the line. Whatever, I'm gonna do it. Damn, I can't believe I lost that game. And even if I wouldn't have done the mistake, I would have still lost. There was literally nothing I could have done. I could have opted into something maybe, but I don't know what I would have been able to find. What would opt find me there? Like a torture tower that I can... It wouldn't change the outcome of the game because I had enough... Like, I used all my mana, didn't I? Yeah, I used 5 mana that turn. Put 2 blockers and a removal into play with the Bitter Triumph, the Fear, and the 1/1. Damn, there was just nothing I could do. Yeah, I'm just gonna discard my Fear. Don't know if I should have played Overload there. I kind of like getting some bodies down. You know, just putting some stuff into play rather than just milling me over. They just run both of them. That's heavy, I would say. Maybe I should have played the Sulfur Springs instead of the Demolition Field, because I kinda... I mean, I definitely discarded Tearza, that's obvious. I guess I have to keep the Springs. I could just get the Overload and reanimate it. It's not too bad. That puts a big target on my Faithful though. They have a Burst Lightning. But maybe that's actually good. Okay, I'm just gonna go for that, whatever. Oh wow. Well. Okay, fair enough. If I lose my Faithful, I'm in trouble. Or if they have Ghost Vacuum. I think for, I don't know, for game 3 I might just board into the creatures. It's like, I don't know what my opponent's sideboard consists of. If they have Ghost Vacuum, if they have a bunch of Spell Piercers, who knows. Okay, play Island, that's good. So I get the Overload down, nice. That should lead to good things for me. And you know, there is a Prowess deck is a lot more tame when it doesn't have that Steel Cutter card, for what it's worth. Right, I'm doing it now in case I get another... with the Fear, I get another attack in. I'm definitely returning the Faithful. And I'm attacking for 5, because I'm putting a lot of pressure on their life total, actually. Okay, so this worked out perfectly. I can return the Faithful with the Overlord, a Wombo combo. I mean, this is literally a Wombo combo, I guess, because, you know, you can just keep doing that. You can keep looping those. They kill this, get it back, get Faithful back, etc. Yeah. Now we can get a Traxxas back, and we already have a pretty formidable board state, so I think I'm like 90%, 95% to win this game at this point. There's the Steel Cutter. You never know. You never know with that card. My nose is still a little bit stuffed. I'm getting better. The cold is vanishing slowly, but the nose is still a little bit stuffed in case you hear that out of my voice. I'll let you know beforehand. Alright, so look at all this damage. It's crazy. If they have a Monster's Rage, how much would this be if I didn't block? 3, 7, 11, 14. Just 14 damage. Prowess is very, very strong ability in a deck with a bunch of 1-mana spells. It's sort of like the new Izzet Phoenix. That's kind of how it feels to me a little bit. Opponent realizing they have to play aggressively to win this game. I could theoretically block the auto here. I don't know if they could do much about that. And then play a little bit of a defensive game where I just get a Traxxas back. We kind of have to cast Burst Lightning or Rage on specifically this. If I just let him hit me, I can kill this off with the torch. I guess, but I don't have anything to sacrifice. That's a problem. Like, I can't, because they can protect it with Rage, theoretically. I don't have anything to sacrifice. I can bargain away my fear, but then I will only have 8 power. And they're at 9. Tricky spot. If they cast a Rage here, which they might have to, I win the game. So that's also a reason not to block. If I block, I go to 3, and then get into tracks into play. No, I take some trample damage too. I take, what, 7 power this will be? So I take 5, I go to 11. They have these 2 in play. I get an Atraxa into play, they bounce the Atraxa. And I'm at 11. I might be able to kill me, honestly. That's crazy. Alright, I won't block. I guess they could also just play a Storm Chest as a talent post-combat. Oh, I could get Delirium with this. If my Overlord hits... Oh, this I can bargain too. Yeah, okay, that was a huge draw. Yeah. I'm just gonna stack the trigger of the Tearsa below the Fear trigger so I can't lose Delirium if that's a possibility otherwise. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, I have Delirium as well, so I can just get the Tearsa back here. And I have... Okay. Yeah, the Delirium was good enough. Oh, this is a 2-2 regardless, right? I thought this would shrink to a 1-1. So my Torture Tower wouldn't even kill this. I don't know, sorry. It's early in the morning. My brain's not working properly. I thought this would be a 1-1 in their turn because it's a 1-1, but it is equipped, so it's not a 1-1. So I could, like, bargain Torch it and play around Rage, but Rage would put it up to 4 toughness, so that wouldn't work. Okay, well, that was interesting. I did not win with reanimation stuff. So what would this look like? I would do it like maybe this, and then play Shieldred Preacher. I don't know, like Preacher. Instead, Curry Steelcutter card. It's just gonna get overpowered so easily. I'm starting to feel I just have to go for the combo. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm better off. I could just play a Shieldred because it's just a good card, I guess. Italy is kind of iffy. Not the greatest here. On the other hand, it gives me another fatty to return. Pyroclasm. Cut down. Bitter Triumph seems so inefficient for what it's worth. Let's just go with cut down. Alright, I'll try this. Temporary lockdown, for what it's worth, certainly seems kind of necessary at this point in the metagame if you're playing a control deck. I was running the Jeskai control deck with like Split Up and Ill-Timed Explosion. And I think I had 0 artifact hate in my deck, which, you know, at the time was reasonable. It was a couple days ago. It was before this Izzet Prowess deck made this huge splash on the metagame. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Because like that deck is you can't really play that version of Jeskai that way. You have to have, I think you have to, if you're playing a white based control deck, you have to play Lockdown at this point in time, and it will reward you because Lockdown is potentially the best card in the format against Izzet Prowess by a wide margin, I would say. So yeah, play Lockdown if you're playing control. And something like Dimir midrange, for example, not the best decision right now. Oh wow, they kept the one-lander. They might have Spell Pierce. I mean, they mulligan to 6, so then kept the 1-lander. Maybe they have Rent's Resolve. Kept a good hand otherwise. Okay, they drew the land. 1 turn too late, but it's not too late. I should definitely not celebrate right now. I mean, there's reason to celebrate. They missed a land drop, but I can't claim victory. If they would have missed this land drop, I might have been good off. Okay, Pyroclasm looking fantastic. I'm just going to fire that one off. Sure, I'm going to miss a land drop, but I might take way too much damage. And I think I'm attacking, yeah. Although theoretically, maybe I shouldn't. I do have damage output though, like Tearza and Shieldred, so... I might... These 2 lives matter, potentially. But the reason not to attack would be that if they go Cory Steelcutter, play a spell, they have a 2/2 haste, and they couldn't attack into this. Okay, so we know they have a bunch of spells in hand. Might have a Spell Pierce. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any justification for me to run an Overload out at this point. I have to just hold up a Braid. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna run into the Spell Pierce. It is what it is. Maybe they don't have it. Okay, good. Good. We have a chance. Oh, they have a Braid of their own? Interesting. For the mirror match and coming in against Reanimator, I suppose. So if I draw land, I'm in a fantastic position. If I don't, alright, let's go. Let's go. Valgavoth and an Overlord? Yeah. Alright, perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. Seems like putting him putting him down on life seems pretty important because it's somewhat a race matchup as we saw in game 1, where it really came down to a race. What is their hand? They missed land drops, yeah? And now they're doing that? What is their hand? That's kind of wild. Well, I'm gonna put this 9/9 into play. See what you do about that. Okay. Yeah. At this point, Valgavoth seems pretty difficult to beat. Maybe they do have something like Bounce Off. Okay. They're just showing me 3 rages they had in hand. That might be it, huh? They just had like a bunch of rages. Oh. This town ain't big enough. Okay, that's your... Some people play this town ain't big enough. I see. Well, that's fine. I think I'm pretty okay with that. I would like to do it all over again, if I may. Even if I would have played a Shieldred or Overlord there, I think this game would have been very, in good hands with Rakdos. Okay, Rakdos Reanimator beating Izzet Prowess, as Jesse showed us in the showcase qualifier. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's continue. Okay, 1 land there will not be sufficient. Punt mulligans as well. Okay, huh. Opponent is going to 5 for what it's worth. I do like all my lands here. I do like Overlord. I'm not sure about Italy to removal. Yeah, I guess I will just do this. That leaves me with a discard outlet for Italy. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good setup. Blue-green, sleight of hand. Theoretically, it could be Timur Prowess playing Questing Druid. Or it could be maybe the blue-green... blue-green Terror deck? Is that what we call it? Yeah, Simic Terror, right? Oh, nice. Hit a Tearsa here. Perfect. Wonderful. I guess what Rakdos Reanimator was kind of looking for was looking for another Fear of Missing Out creature that is pretty good in itself. And it has found that with Tearsa. And why was it looking for specifically a creature? Because it does synergize nicely with Overlord. And yeah, Tearsa really synergizes nicely with Overlord. It goes very quickly up to the threshold of 7. And yeah, it's a discard order you can find to play that sort of that fair game. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, Gloomlake Verge. Oh man, that's a lot of lands. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to give this the thing. Like, I could play this. I mean, I guess I could theoretically hit a good spell with this that I can cast here, bin it, then hit it with Tearsa. Yeah, I don't know. That seems overly ambitious. I'm just gonna attack. Like, I could also hit the Italia, which is my worry, so I'm just gonna attack first. Okay, I'll definitely take that one. Anything that, at this point, this is just 2 mana, 2/3, draw a card, because I won't need all these lands. I have to be worried about Reanimator crap, but that one's difficult to cast. Maybe they just have... Oh, no, they can't. Oh, I guess they could cast Rakshas's Bargain. The new Sultai spell, they might run that. Again, I think I'm just going to attack first. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I'm going to distown me. Well, I actually don't mind that too much, truth be told. I guess I'll play land first. I don't know. I don't think they play counter spells, but who knows. Torch and Springs. Okay. Fear of Missing Out. Discard Valgavoth. Okay. They're pretty slow out of the gates here. Cast a turn 3 Beanstalk. So my creature beatdown plan might actually be sufficient. Getting a basic, a swamp. Yeah, the new card they might be running is the Rakshas's Bargain, which is a 6 mana spell, but only costs 3 mana. Hybrid, of course. Works very well with Beanstalk. Puts cards in the graveyard, which is nice with the Terrors. Alright, there you go. There's what I was looking for. Now the question is... I do have 2 reanimation targets, but yeah, I mean, the Tearsa is just... I guess it can play a land here. Interesting. Like, do I want to get Valgavoth? Do I want to get Itali? Valgavoth seems pretty difficult to remove for them, to be honest. I won't get Delirium anyhow. Okay, I'll just do this first then. They might have an Reanimator crap here for what it's worth. Tap these 2 guys. I think I'm just gonna get Valgavoth. I'm also getting an Overlord. They were just a little too slow this game. I'm gonna be able to... Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have played that land, because in the case I can attack... Oh, no way to run, yeah, makes sense. In the case I could have attacked, I could have hit a land and then played the land, so that was a mistake. Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess that's pretty good against Valgavoth. I did not consider that. Okay, fair enough. I'm actually really close to casting Itali. And my hand is loaded with spells that are impactful, so I feel pretty good about this. The Overload lines up well against all the Terrors as well. Okay. I guess I'm just attacking. Okay. It's pretty costly if they tap my Valgavoth. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Shoot. Right. That is pretty sick, actually. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, my Valgavoth not very good against nowhere to run. Totally forgot about that. Torch the tower and what? Bushwhack. That's hilarious. Itali is going to... Oh no, Valgavoth is going to have a fight. No, sorry. What? Cancel that order. No. Yeah. Go here. This one, please. Yep, thank you. And I would like to cast this one. And I would like to fight Valgavoth with Animal Crap. And then we can also bushwhack for land if we want to. And we can also just cast an Animal Crap. I guess I'm not casting bushwhack, huh? Huh, interesting, because I cast it, it doesn't go to exile, that's funny. Submit 0. Yeah, okay. I mean, sure, I don't know where to run messes for my Valgavoth a little bit, but I mean, I'd be impressed if they get out of this situation. I suppose they have Beanstalk going, and they have a pretty full graveyard right now. So they could chain crabs, and like this town ain't big enough, and all of that. They should probably tap one of these two lands here instead of the Yamimaya coast to enable better draws. Okay. Guess I'm just attacking first and foremost. Don't know if I want to kill this off pre-combat. I think I'm just going to take Valgavoth's Faithful. Tearza. Just take a Tearza. I think we're just going to chill. Like, paying 4 mana to get rid of this seems kind of bad. If that's all you want to do, I'm fine. Probably going to bounce my Valgavoth, yeah. And my Itali. Okay, fair enough. So take 5. That's a pretty good tempo swing. But I do have Zombify, and if I hit an untapped land here, I'm going to put one of those back into play. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I think it should be Itali. Valgavoth is just not that great against nowhere to run. Okay. Sure. I guess the land. I guess I'm gonna take the rest. I'd be very impressed if they get out of this situation. I mean, they could, theoretically, maybe, but yeah, I just have so much gasoline left, and they also have to, at some point, turn the corner and start dealing me damage. I cannot envision a way how they would do it. Maybe with some cards that yeah, there's just no way. Alright. Okie dokie, we definitely don't need these torture towers. I mean, they can kill otters, but the braid also looking terrible. Okay, that leaves me with a lot of cuts already. I guess I like Duress, I like Ghost Vacuum, and I kind of like the Preacher. And yeah, my deck's actually not that prepared for this matchup. I think Valgavoth is kind of bad against nowhere to run. Yeah, my deck is not very well prepared for this matchup. I only have 2 removal spells for big guys. Guess you could count Liliana. I'm saying my deck. It's Jesse's deck. I would have built this better. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm thinking of Chandra or Sheoldred instead of like this Valgavoth, maybe. Yeah, why not? I honestly, after looking at this, I don't love my chances for the postboard games because what I'm bringing in is some of these mid-range cards, Duress and Ghost Vacuum. They could have some better sideboard cards like counterspells. And if they, why did I win this game specifically? Because they had an extremely slow draw. Their draw was really bad. They gave me a ton of time to set my things up and, to get to that inevitability. But if they have a fast draw and they put down some Tolarian terrors and then they have a counterspell for my crucial zombify, those terrors will just beat me down. Okie dokie. Sure. Yeah, this is a great hand, actually. Really good. It's, not perfect. I mean, Blackcleave Cliffs would be preferable, but this is exactly what I'm looking for in this matchup. Just a fast draw. Creature aggression is kind of good against them, too. And yeah, I mean, I have Reanimation, I have Atraxa, I have everything. Yeah, I think we're going to see, like, Tearza might be top 5 cards in Taki Dragonstorm for Standard. Or generally. I mean, this card is powerful. It's especially good also in Jesker Oculus. And I have a little Brewski also in the back of my head that could utilize this card with Proft. Just, yeah, with Proft, I don't know the full name of that card. The 2-mana enchantment, the blue one that for every card you've drawn, you can put counters on things. That with Tearza, pretty nasty. Okay, opponent's on a 5. Bushwhack, my Rakdos. Alright, you got it. You got it. Oh, Blackleaf Cliffs. Perfect. Do I actually want to do that? Maybe I want to overload my Valgavoth. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do this. I have the third land. Like, if I didn't draw the third land, I would go with the Fear. All the choices. I'm going to take the Faithful, though. Damn. Yeah, next turn I can go Fear into Valgavoth to set up the turn 4. Okay, fair enough. Well, the thing is, I'm pretty happy playing a fair game when my opponent's on a 5 and, all these creatures beat down, so it's not too bad. Okay. I mean, the Faithful, not very good at this point. Although I guess this will have to be sacrificed. Doesn't even draw a card. So they sacrifice in response to the Faithful. Whatever. I'm just gonna go for a beatdown strategy. Question. Do I want to discard that tracks? That's sort of the question here, I guess. I also have this overload coming. I think I'm just gonna choose to discard these for now. And leave my tracks in hand. Sheoldred is kind of perfect here. It's a perfect card against the Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, I mean, game 1, they had a really bad draw. Game 2, they're moving into 5 now. So it's not necessarily representative of how good this Simic Terror deck is. I did play with it a good amount for the Arena Championship 6. It was a deck back then. It was quite good against the Dimir and Golgari midrange decks. The format has changed a lot, and sort of those black midrange decks that it would prey upon don't really see play anymore. So it's just not that well positioned, and I did struggle with the consistency of the deck, and I don't think that it has increased much. The consistency meaning that, sometimes you just all these different, like, some openers are just terrible. You have like a couple of Tolarian terrors, and maybe you have a Beanstalk, but you have nothing to like fill your graveyard with. You just have to mulligan that. I might just play a Preacher here. Just attack for free, play Preacher. Why rush things? I could also play Fear. Discard a card. Okay, I'm going for a little discount, like big enough action. Sure. Right, fair enough. I'm going to play the Tearza because I kind of want to play the Sheoldred. And yeah, I'm gonna ditch the tracks in the Valgorth. Okay, I'm just gonna play a fair game now. What? I said both. I clicked on both. I clicked on both. I clicked on both. I guess I didn't, but I did. I didn't. I didn't physically, but I did. Maybe my mouse needs changing. You're getting old on me, mouse. I won't enter a StarCraft tournament with you, that's for sure. Uh-huh. You don't say. What do you have? Just an opt or something? A cash grab? I'm fine trading, whatever. I have so many resources. I have this overlord. I kind of like the way I would maybe lose this game is by damage. So I'm kind of happy trading. I have so much stuff. So I could play Preacher and Fear, or I could just play Shieldred. Shieldred is a little worse if they have another Dystonian big enough. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Fear. Discard my Faithful, I guess. I'm missing something like an instant, for example, which I have in hand to get Delirium. They have medium-sized graveyard. Let's attack. They have an Eddie Crab. Okay. I want to kill that right away is a question. I don't think I need to. Maybe I should, to be honest. It's going to be a little painful. I go down to 10 life. That's okay. I have a pretty enormous board state. My Fear has Delirium. I could mess with their mana base with these Demolition Fields, although they usually have like, because they're on an Analyze the Pollen deck, they do have like Island, Swamp, Forest at least, so I can't mess with them really well, but I can cut them off blue maybe a little bit. On the other hand, I would enable their black, so I don't even know if I want to enable their black. Looking at the graveyard, I guess maybe thinking about Stormchaser's talent activation, which I mean, if they have to do that at this point, that's, yeah, the writing's on the wall. Okay, a terror. Sure. Oh, okay. How do I want to handle this? Liliana, make them sacrifice. Untap my Overlord. They block Overlord during the first combat. They take 8, go to 7. It's probably pretty okay by me. Yeah, I mean this game is all over. I mean, I guess they could crack the lantern right now. They won't. They could to prevent the delirium, but yeah. It could block the fear, but no, then they die. Yeah, no, I guess they don't die. You take a Tears at this point. Could have taken another preacher, whatever. So if they block the fear, they take 7, 11. And then they block the overload on the second attack. I get another overload trigger. Yeah. I mean, it's just tough position. This is just blue, green. They need to be fast. They need to be on the board. That's how they win, not by playing from behind. Opponent is playing it out until the last minute. Not giving up. Alright, let's discard a card. Still hasn't cracked that lantern. And yeah, it's nice that all these creatures allow you to play around the graveyard hate. Sure. I'm still not sure how they're gonna survive this attack. We'll find out, I guess. Opponents... Yeah, okay. Thank you. Alright, on to the next. Okay. On the draw, you say, Overlord Torch. And then 3 cards that are not doing anything right now, but I do have Overlord to enable. And I have Torch to scry as well, in case I stop hitting land drops. Ah! Right. Yeah, there's another deck that are you happy to run into? Is the Hopeless Nightmare deck, of course. All of a sudden my hand became a lot better. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Alright, I guess I'm discarding a Zombify. Just the most expensive card. Okay, perfect. Lovely. Look at that, Mateza is almost online. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back. Playing against Hopeless Nightmare. If they want to do that again, I can discard it, and I do have Tearza here, so I'm all good. If they are 7 or more, this is a must, by the way. So that's a little risky, actually. With the Tearza, because if I play her and I exile my own Valgavoth, that would not be good. So I might not want to attack for that reason. This could lose me the game. Right. Yeah, I'm not going to attack. Like the free damage, I could gamble on free damage, essentially, what I could do here. I could say I have a 1 in 8 to hit the Valgavoth. So I have a 7 and 8 to just get free damage in for free. But I'm not gambling. I'm no gambler. I don't want to do it. Oh, that's actually annoying. Ugh. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what you do, Tessa. Oh my god. That was a 1 in 9? The absolute worst card to hit? Literally every other card would have done something? Nah, the Zombify wouldn't have done something. Oh my god. I can't believe that. I can't believe you did that to me, Arena. Wow. Oh my god. That was brutal. Oh, yikes. We had like a 88% chance to hit something. No, that's not true. We had a 79 chance to hit something useful or something like. And then at least an 80% chance to an 88% chance to not hit the Valgavoth, which would leave us with very good top decks next turn. Which a land, for example, would have led us to reanimate the Valgavoth there. I mean, that was pretty absurd. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Liliana of the Veil, not the nicest, not the worst card either. I mean, Pixie has a bit of trouble dealing with it. Ghost Vacuum is the card Pixie usually plays. I could just play Brotherhood's End maybe. Cut Down, Bitter Triumph. Bitter Triumph deals with Kaito for what it's worth. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do the fair thing here. I don't want to play against Pixie fairish. They have Hopeless Nightmare. They probably have to keep it in. Man, that was an outrageous game. Are you kidding me? They cast 4 Nightmares on me. When Nightmare is good, the card is so utterly broken. And then I could have hit a land there too with the attack from the 3/3. I could have hit a land and zombify my Vargolov. I had like a, what, 35% chance to hit a land or something like that. Is that 3 lands in my bin? 3 out of 8? 3 out of 9? Yeah, whatever. Damn, brutal. I guess a 33% chance at that point. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, RNG gets you sometimes, you know. Sometimes you... I didn't think of the Terza as a downside card until this point. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, I mean, no, it was a downside. Yeah, it was a bit of a downside. It didn't affect the board state, theoretically. You still have your 3/3, you exile a random card from your graveyard, right? You wouldn't think like, oh, whatever. In a normal deck, it wouldn't matter that much. But in this deck, it matters because that card is important to be there. Yeah, I can play first. Okay. Yikes. I guess I'll... Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll put a torch away. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I'm going to 5. Keeping the zombify is better against specifically counterspell. Keeping the torch is better against the normal draw of creatures and all. How many counterspells does Pixie play realistically? I wanted to hit like a Fear there. Or at least a Terza. Pretty bad. Overlord. But, you know, at least I get it down the line. Okay. I'm just chilling. We're both chilling. Just staring at each other. Okay. Yeah, I'm just, I guess, like, you know what card they might have? They might have the stupid Kirin. I feel like they might have that. To bounce it back. I could just play this cat and mouse game, let him have the fear. Whatever, I'm just gonna kill it. If they have the Kirin, they bounce it, sure. Oh, okay, fair enough. I guess I can sacrifice my own Overlord into the torch and then zombify it. Did not actually think about that. That's kind of cute. Huh. I potentially should have done that actually last turn, because they were tapped out of blue. So I could have sacked this, scryed into an untapped land, which I had on top, and then I would have been able to reanimate the Overlord. I mean, now I have this Overlord coming anyways, so it's like, it's a little impatient almost to do that, because I know I have an Overlord coming. The way this game played out, I'm certainly very happy I have 2 Zombifies in my hand instead of 2 torches. Sure. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know what the hand really is. They might have Pixie, all of that. You know, they might have all these returners, but no thing to return. So the hand could really be anything. The hand could be counterspells, could be removal, it could be Pixie, it could be Kaito, it could be... the discount ain't big enough. Fear of isolation. So here I can torch my own guy and zombify it for value. Like I could sack it and then, or just torch and do nothing. Have this overload in play. If I miss with the zombify, it would be pretty bad. Like if I miss with the overlord and I wouldn't get any value. And then they have one remover and then I'm out of anything really. Keeping the mountain in hand in case I draw like a Terza or a Fear. Again, I'm playing a little bit more patient here. I have this overlord on impending again, I suppose. Giving my opponent a lot of time though, because this is 2 more turns. Sure. Now I'm a little worried about a counterspell. Okay, well. Now the only one that matters is Spell Pierce, which I can play around. Doesn't seem like they have Spell Pierce. Okay, we did hit. I can play my Fear, discard the Vargavoth again. Right, good stuff. Although I guess if they have it, this town ain't big enough, yeah, or that. I'm out of luck right now. I'm just out of anything. The moment a breaker kills my overlord, that's it. Rest in peace. Italy. Oh my. What a draw. Let's deal my opponent 5 damage. I don't think I'm getting any of these cards. They go immediately to the graveyard. It's not like look at the top 4, then take one. No. Rest in peace means I have to bring in Preachers. Preacher of the Schism. And yeah, I assume they maybe they were sitting on nowhere to run, I guess, for a long time. Do I want to kill any of these? For free life? I don't think so. Ah, don't say you have a removal or counterspell. But they seem to have some instant. Maybe they have this town ain't big enough. This town ain't big enough is actually kind of good against something that I would get off theirs, because they can bounce it again. Okay, I assume what's happening here is they're just gonna bounce their own nowhere to run into Fear of Isolation. Presumably. Oh, they have Karen. Okay, fair enough. Oh man, they can actually kill my Italy if they draw a land. Right, because they can return a nowhere to run and then kill my Terza. I think I just have to discard both. I just have to find something powerful. I don't know what that would be. Swamp, it's not. If I play the Swamp, I can play my Vargavoth hardcast. But I would worsen top deck Terzas, for example. Specifically, Terza would be the card that I would worsen by playing my Swamp. I have 1 Vargavoth in my deck of 26 cards, and I have 3 Terzas. Realistically speaking, looking at the rest of my deck, I don't know how I'm winning without that Vargavoth in play. So I have just a bunch of 3/3s and 2/3s and 5/5s that do nothing under Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace is very good if you don't have the Preacher of the Schism in your deck. at the Shieldred. Yeah. All right, fair enough. I have a chance. If I draw Valgavoth right now and play it, I have a chance. And to be fair, I also have a chance because they might not draw that Lantet land, I guess. But I need to draw a creature too, so it's like it's pretty rough. Because otherwise the Momentum Breaker gets me next turn. And they win the race regardless. They have, with the Momentum Breaker, they're at 19 life. They have 6 power in the air. I'm not winning the race by any means. They would just fear, nowhere to run back, kill my Tearza. And now I have to draw very well off the top. That ain't it. That ain't it. All right, I guess I'm dead. I don't know if I can get out of this situation. I don't think so. Not with the cards I have. Oh. Wow. I was not aware of that. Huh. I mean, what that would have done is they would have chump blocked, taken 8, 11, instead of 10, go to 4, go to 8 poison, no, 7 poison. No, 8 poison, yeah. And then they would have just, or they would have killed this with Tearza probably. And then they would have just killed this. Like, they would have gone to 4 life instead of 5 with 8 poison. Like, it wouldn't really have changed that much, I suppose. And now it's worthless to do that. They would have had, I mean, they would have lost a fear. I would have killed the fear. Maybe they have a Distonate big enough, who knows. And they would have bounced the Italian response, which wouldn't be that good for them, to be honest. Alright, fair enough. I could have killed the fear off. Yeah, I did punt. I should have activated my Itali. It's costing 9 mana, yeah, sure. Alright, we flooded out a little bit. Drew like 3 lands in the last 4 draw steps. A little bit unlucky. And the rest of the piece is just unbeatable. Pretty much. I don't think there's a card... Like, the only card in my deck I can think of is Valgavoth at this point. Sorry, I don't want to nice you. Yeah, I need Valgavoth, and I need them to draw nothing that can deal with it. That's just a 5/5. If I would have killed the fear, I would have survived another turn. So that's on me. I would have been at 6 right now. And I would have survived another turn. But yeah, alright, fair enough. Well, this Reanimator deck seems pretty solid. It's like a solid, clean deck. If you're not expecting much domain, for example, I think this could be a solid choice to prey upon the aggro decks, the mid-range decks, and also the Hopeless Nightmare decks, even though we did lose this matchup. I mean, rest in peace is Stone Cold Killer against this Reanimator deck. But I don't know if this is here to stay. Sorry, I'm going to concede, my bad. I'm slow rolling my opponent. I don't know if this deck is here to stay necessarily, because it seems a little bit low-powered. But if you want to beat up on Izzet Prowess, on blue-black mid-range, I suppose. Maybe even on mono-red. I guess that's a lot of the metagame. And then also it has a decent matchup against Pixie, because Hopeless Nightmare can discard your stuff. And you do have interaction for Ghost Vacuum, which is the most commonly played Graveyard Hate, I think. Like, I think if I would go and look up Pixie lists right now, I don't think I would find many Rested Pieces, would I? Yeah, the first list I'm clicking on has Ghost Vacuum. Alright, the second list I'm clicking on has actually Rest in Peace. The third one also has Rest in Peace. Maybe people are catching up to Rest in Peace. No, Ghost Vacuum again. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Rest in Peace obviously beating, but I suppose do have to bring in the Preacher of the Schisms in this matchup. They're not too bad. They at least don't get dealt with by nowhere to run. Shieldred, yeah, Momentum Breaker does it though, which is annoying. But yeah, I mean, your Creature Door can do some things. In any case, this was Jesse Hampton's Rakdos Reanimator deck. Congratulations to him for making it to the Mox, if you want to beat up on red decks, Pixie, Demir midrange, this might be the deck for you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.